Oh, hell no. That was like a 90s sitcom intro. We're all family. Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's episode 51. And we're having lots of fun.
No, we're not. I'm just kidding. I've never been more depressed in my life.
Oh yeah, how you doing? Jillian, this is the second week? No. Is this the first of
This is it has been like 1 week and some change after I had been terminated.
Yeah. Arnold came over and was like,
Sorry, Jillian. You're terminated.
You need help filing for unemployment. I used to be the governor. I can help you.
This is my job now. They just have me come out to people and then I terminate them. It pays pretty well, but you know.
he's becoming really Austrian in this.
I'm really glad that he's, had some work after the governor position because, there's not much else to do. You can't really like go up from there,
Well, I mean, unless you become president, but President Schwarzenegger, it's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, it doesn't have a nice ring to it.
Also,
so.
he's not from here, so I don't think legally he could become the president.
No,
he's like, what are you talking about? I'm American born and raised.
I love the hot dog and the baseball.
And the pizza pie. And the balls with the feet.
What?
The balls with the feet. You know.
Speaking of which, it is the superb owl today.
Superb owl. Well, this will come out in a week from now from when we're recording. So
a week from now, Valentine's Day will have ended. We will know who won the superb owl. So it's the Eagles and the actually
the Chiefs.
I thought it was the well, it's the racial stereotype and the birds.
Yes.
I don't know which birds.
If I had to guess, I would say that the Eagles are probably going to win because that's the closest thing to an owl. It's kind of a weird lineup for the competition, but
I guess we'll find out. But all the Eagles fans came out today. I was hanging out in Abbott Kinney and walking up, I just saw Lil Dicky and his girlfriend. Didn't say anything, obviously, because I'm not a fucking freak. But he was wearing an Eagles jersey and all this shit. And I was like, what's that fucking Lil Dicky?
What does he do exactly?
He has a show called Dave. He raps about animals fucking, or what was that?
Penis.
About his small Johnson. That was his original name, but they thought it maybe was a bit too much of a mouthful.
Little Richard. They're like, I have a great way to shorten that for you.
Yeah, I saw Lil Dicky today, so that was kind of cool. It was a fun weekend. I had a little date on Friday, and with a guy I knew before seeing him on the dating app because he produces some pretty big podcasts, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And so I met up with him, and he was super nice, and I had a great time, and I went to Soho House in downtown, which I was a little intimidated because I had to get an invitation and be invited as a guest, and
you have to show your passport and all your IDs when you're entering, and then you have to have a recommendation letter and your transcript from college. And
well, yeah, I also had to sign I had to do a blood oath with the front desk person. It was a whole thing.
That's pretty standard for most LA clubs. The ID stuff was a little excessive, but
so I was at Soho House and I was like, this is so, I feel so fancy. I feel so out of place.
So
yeah, I mean, people were really slutting it up, so they got right into the theme of it. But
and there was one sexy Santa.
Get the fuck out of here. Just don't. But yeah, it was actually really nice, and the people there were very kind, and it wasn't as douchey as I had presumed. I can imagine it costs a lot of money to have a membership because they have locations all over the world and like Paris and Rome and shit. And I think having a membership, you can just go and hang out in any one of them, it's very cool.
It's like the American Express lounge at the airport, you know? You just get secret access to it if you pay a certain amount of money every year.
Yep.
Got that.
It's like that one thing that's kind of similar, but like not at all.
It's the Amex lounge of clubs.
No, I mean it's like a social house. So there's like 7 floors.
Is that what the SO stands for?
Oh my god. What does the ho stand for?
Hoshel.
The social house. Yeah, it was nice. There's 7 floors, and so you can kind of hang out and do whatever. There's like there was a DJ in one of the places. There's restaurants and stuff. It was very nice. But I was talking to the guy who I was on the date with, who has a membership there, and he's like, I told him I had some presumptions about how it would be like. I was like, yeah, because I've heard that the Beverly Hills one is crazy pretentious. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, you walk into that one and there's people doing coke at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh, my God.
Just like lines off the fucking front desk. Like, it's apparently nuts.
Which one
And
did you go to?
I went to the one downtown. It's like Soho Warehouse, and it's literally next to an abandoned warehouse. And I got dropped off. I was like, oh, so I came to get murdered. That's what's happening.
You are going to have 1 kidney harvested, possibly 2.
My appendix, I don't need it actually. And I've been looking to make some quick cash. So I thought worst case scenario, I'd leave with 1 less organ and a few $100 extra bucks.
Well,
But
that's fine. You know, it takes care of 2 things. You lose a little weight and you make some money.
yeah, and that's all you can really ask for nowadays. So I'm trying to get myself out there and meet new people. And it's kind of terrifying because, you don't know what to expect. You're meeting someone for the first time off a fucking app, and they could be a serial killer or not one.
That's the only option. I mean, actually, that is the only
That is
option.
the only option. But
You know what's weird when you think about those things? It's like, I guess, assuming you intend to or want to get married to someone, it's like when you date someone, you're either going to break up or like be with them for the unforeseeable future. Like,
or murder them.
Yeah.
Or get murdered.
but it's like, that's what makes it fun, is you never know what's going to happen.
yeah, it's a real roll of the dice. I don't know. The dating apps are kind of a shit show. So finding like an established working professional on there is a bit of a rarity.
Yeah, I feel like my general experience with dating apps when I was on them, which was like last week, was that a lot of the people that are on there don't feel emotionally ready to be dating. They're just doing it because maybe they feel like they have to. So I don't like so
I don't know, dude. I think that there's a variety of people on there because there are
No, of
straight up
course.
horny 18-year-olds
Oh,
who are
God.
literally just like
Girl,
trying to
You
fuck.
got to change your age limit.
I thought I did. It feels so fucked up. And then I remember Leonardo DiCaprio, who's 48, has now a 19-year-old girlfriend.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
And I go, I'm sorry, they're literally children. Like, in no fucking world would I ever entertain going on a date with someone more than like 2 years younger than me. I don't know. A lot of the dating apps people, I feel like it's either people who are just trying to fuck, people who are maybe a little socially awkward or just not conventionally attractive and have a hard time meeting people in real life. And then you have people like me who are smart, funny, accomplished, you know what I mean?
Beautiful,
Drive a Porsche 911. I don't know cars.
Porsche 911.
That's a car. It just reminds me to never forget. Every time I hop inside, I go, rip into the victims, and I do a little sign of the cross. And it's just my way of giving back and keeping them in my thoughts. But look, what I'm saying is I just feel like it's hard to find people who have their shit together because a lot of the guys, it feels like maybe they're still living with their parents but it's also like I don't meet people other ways organically unless we go out to a bar, but then you go to a bar and people are just trying to fuck. So it's like, this to me is a better way to try, like, meet more people, get exposed to more people.
Fuck did people meet before all of this bullshit?
They didn't. They just settled for whoever was closest by. Like, our grandparents met because he worked at a gas station.
Yeah, she was getting gas with her friends, and then he was like the gas tenant, and then he asked her out with like a stick of gum, and she was like, no. And then
You
her
mean
friends
he asked her out with a stick of gum?
He gave her a stick of gum. He's like, will you go out with me?
That's all it took.
Yeah. Well, no, she said no.
Oh.
And then they drove away, and her friends were like,
I want a whole pack, bitch.
wow, only one stick?
It's like a
fucking
chewed,
freak.
it's chewed
Chewed
fucking
piece of gum.
half chewed stick of gum.
No. So she said no, and then they drove away, and her friends like gave her shit for it, and they came back, and she was like, okay, fine.
Nothing like peer pressure to make you want to go on a date.
Well, thank God it happened, or we fucking wouldn't be alive. I mean, you know what? I take that back. I wish it hadn't happened.
Oh,
I
well,
wish she
you-
had stuck to her guns.
You should have kept driving.
You should have kept that beehive hairdo to yourself and kept fucking going. You should have counted your blessings that you could drive in the first place.
I mean, you probably couldn't even own your own credit card at that point. You know what I mean?
That's the only reason she got with him, so she could open up a credit card.
So she could go shopping, of
Yes,
course.
because women be shopping.
Yeah, I'm ready for that conversation.
I hate that's so true. I know we talk about it all the time, but like women do be shopping.
Women do be shopping. I be browsing because I'm not in a place to really be blowing money.
No, I know. I window shop online all the time.
Yeah. Well, is it window shopping if you're not looking through windows?
But couldn't we argue that a screen is a window into the portal realm known as the internet?
We could, but I'm not in the arguing mood.
We could, but I'm not a pretentious fucker.
My brain don't work too good.
I know. We went roller skating earlier.
We went skating and neither of us fell.
That's actually
You fall out of your chair right now.
There's still time for that.
It's a miracle, honestly.
I've just been wearing my wrist guards because I cannot afford to fuck that shit up anymore.
You've given yourself carpal tunnel from all the hand jobs you've been giving out trying to get a
know.
new job.
I know.
If the hand jobs don't really convince anyone, you could always just go full. Just really commit. Recite your resume while you're doing it.
Oh,
So I graduated from USC. Suck. Oh, fuck. I can't, like, just going back to being a woman and not having basic human rights or equality, like, you know, being able to own land or a credit card. I'm glad that we no longer have to suck dick for jobs.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you talking about?
Like, wait, you don't? Well, you know, it's so funny too because like I was talking to my mom about just feeling like really financially insecure right now because I don't have a fucking job. And like obviously I have a partner who would financially support me, you know, and like worst case if I didn't have him, like my family would, which I know is a privileged position to be in.
Mm-hmm. So why are you crying?
Shut the fuck up, that bitch. No, but I was talking to my therapist about it, you know, because she was like, well, like you and Marco, it's like all one pot, whatever. Like, you know, you can like his money's your money. I'm like, but it's not.
I don't think that the older generations understand that, like, at least you and your relationship aren't treating it like it's a big pool of cash you can just
Yeah.
grab from. Because that doesn't feel fair. And I feel like that comes from a place of inequity where it used to be like the dude is the breadwinner and then the woman would have to get on her hands and knees and like beg for an allowance, you know, of some kind. And then he'd get pissed if she spent too much money shopping. And then it's like, it just creates this weird power dynamic.
I
So
know.
if you're both contributing to the relationship in a way and you have a shared like joint thing for certain stuff, which you do.
And Marco contributes, you know, he buys the crack. So that's something.
Yeah. The butt crack. You guys have been experimenting.
Yeah. I mean, you got to keep it fresh, you know, if you want your relationship to last.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, speaking of which, I feel like polygamy has been a recent topic of discussion. And I guess now on dating apps, you can just say if you're polygamous or not. Or
Oh, really?
Yeah, or like an ethical non-monogamous relationship.
What about unethical monogamous relationships?
I do have to wonder with some of these guys, because some of the guys like say, oh, I'm dating someone. And then it's like, does she know or do they know
No,
that
exactly.
you're trying to date someone else?
No, I'm polyamorous.
Until she finds out. I mean,
I always see those TikToks where it's like this woman being like, watch me ask my boyfriend and my husband what they think of my dress or whatever, you know, and it's like, There's like always these like memes I see on Twitter where it's like, my wife's boyfriend said that I had to go to bed early tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wanted an extra scoop of ice cream, but my wife's boyfriend said no.
Like he's your stepdad in the relationship. Now, son, I have to go take care of your wife.
I'm going to plow the absolute shit out of her and rock her world. Now you go off to bed, son.
When I'm done with her, you'll have to take a flashlight and spelunking shoes to
Spelunking shoes.
find your way through that cave.
Oh my god. Spelunking. That's such a fucking funny word.
Spelunking. It's a real thing.
I know it is. I just can't imagine like you're home for the holidays or whatever and your relatives that you haven't seen in forever are there and they're like, oh, so, you know, what are you doing for a living? You're like, well, I spelunk.
That sounds like you go into a cave and jack off. Like,
Oh, yeah. I like to spelunk. I make some stalactites. You know what I'm saying?
maybe that's what stalactites are, dude. You're going to tell me they don't look like fucking calcified cum?
It's just all the cum dripping from the ceiling like over years and years and years.
Maybe it's bat cum.
Oh my god.
Bat cum.
Cum.
Batman is just hanging from the ceiling like, Robin, finish me off.
Robin being, 18 plus, not the child Robin.
Is there a child Robin?
Yeah,
That seems
like
completely impractical.
In the comics, he's usually like
He's
a
5
kid
years
or
old.
Robin is literally like 5 years old.
Oh, Batman, I don't know how to use a gun. I can't even tie my shoe that good.
Batman, I'm trying to weed this ransom note, but I can't weed yet. No, in the comics, he's like a kid mostly.
That's
and then
sick.
there's like other variations of like where, because like he cycles through Robins. I'm not even kidding. Like, seriously.
Because they all keep dying.
Yeah, no, genuinely, there's like
Shut the fuck
there's
up.
like story arcs where like a Robin that he just kind of was like, I don't give a fuck about you, like grew up and then like has like a grudge against Bruce and then like turns into like a pseudo villain or
You're
like,
fucking with me.
I'm serious. There's like 5 different Robins
he
that
just
he's
has
had.
like 37 evil exes.
Yeah, no, exactly. Except they're all Robin. They're all like a pasty white boy with black hair named Robin.
Except for one of them is a literal Robin.
You're my favorite. But I have to let you go because you don't fight crime. All you do is eat seeds. I wish you'd eat my seed.
Basically, what we're saying is Batman is a pedophile and he likes
No.
bestiality.
In my iteration of this, in my universe, Robin is a fully consenting adult
Okay, that's
who's
fine.
just small and boy-like. You know what I
I
mean?
think there's one named like Dick Grayson or something, so that works.
Some young cum.
Some young.
He's Russian.
My name's
Some young cum. I'd like to apply to be Robin. To Batman, I have lots of skills, including not being a bird and swallowing semen.
I have no gag reflex.
You're hired.
Fuck off. I mean, yeah, there's no way his bat cave isn't just a sex dungeon.
Well, obviously, you don't build a underground lair and not have like horny, kinky sex in it. Are you kidding me?
I imagine that he's just like, he pulls Robin around on a leash and lets him out to go potty. You're sick, Batman. You're a sick fuck.
Master Wife. I'm sick of cleaning up your cup.
I almost slipped in it the other day.
My hips aren't like what they used to be.
Well, I'm writing your paychecks, Alfred, so you better get sweeping. You could say goodbye to your retirement fund.
He's just like sobbing, mopping Batman's cum.
He's like 90 years old, like decrepit, in a fucking gimp suit.
Not in a gimp suit. We gotta stop with the gimp suits.
Like a leather daddy dom outfit.
Oh no. Yeah, well, you gotta have the harness and the
Right, and like the hat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the like captain's hat.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a police officer's hat.
Exactly, in like latex, like the
Just
shiny.
like a latex maid outfit. He's the butler. Holy fuck. Speaking of kinky superheroes, I remember when that one movie came out about the creator of Wonder Woman and how he basically was super into bondage and was in a polyamorous relationship.
What?
Yes.
Me when I'm When I'm what?
Me when I'm
When I'm what?
The creator of Wonder Woman was basically just super into bondage and was in a polyamorous relationship with 2 women. And it was like kind of hot. I was like, okay, do your thing.
Slay.
But at the time, obviously, it was super looked down upon. And they're like, what the fuck is all this? Why is she always tied up in ropes all the time? It feels
Oh my god.
kinky.
Is that why she had a fucking...
Yes, dude.
Oh.
You think it's a coincidence that he loved fucking bondage and Wonder Woman has a magical rope that makes people tell the truth when it's wrapped around them? Like her sub?
I'm going to piss, shit, cry.
Expel your bodily fluids.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wow.
I mean, it feels a little kink shamey of you, I'm not gonna lie, but
No, I'm just sad that I didn't know this sooner because then I could have been whacking it to Wonder Woman. But you know,
you still can.
that's true. I have to, make up for lost time, but whatever. I think I can make it work. But it makes you wonder how many other superheroes are just like born of kink and fetish fantasies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of latex going on.
Yeah, like the
and
skin tight.
thong bodysuits.
Right,
And
because-
knee-high boots.
Exactly. And, a lot of people like to critique how female superheroes' costumes are very revealing, but, it's not like the men are any less revealing. It's just all these skin tight suits. You can see their nips
I
pointing
don't know.
out.
I do wish I could see a little more skin on some of the men, but
Well, Aquaman.
I wouldn't mind
doesn't
a
he
crop
have-
top. No, he has a shirt. The men are fully.
But I thought he had like no tights. I thought it was just like a speedo.
he just has his dick hanging out.
No, I mean like a speedo
You're
without
like,
tights.
yeah, Aquaman just has a belt and like nothing on
Aquaman
underneath
just
it.
lets it. He just free balls, man. You don't
He's
need
got a-
underwear in the ocean.
He's got a fish cock. It retracts. Oh my god. No. I think that women their costumes obviously were sexualized because they were being drawn by men. But it's also like it's just not practical. Like their entire swaths of their body are fully exposed.
No, it's so dumb.
And then our men are dressed up like a Mormon dad. High neck, like no skin exposed
With
except
a
for their
belt.
head. And not the one I want to see.
And it's like head to toe, and then just their dick is hanging out. But there's even like a little sleeve on the shaft. It's literally just the head of the penis.
So they're uncircumcised, basically, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
no, exactly.
They're like, well, we can't have circumcised cocks in our comic books. But
Well, I'm sure on Krypton, Superman didn't get circumcised, not only because they didn't believe in it morally as a species, but also because they had to send him off before their planet exploded, so they wouldn't have time to circumcise his cock.
So actually, in comic book 375 of Superman versus the Blob, Superman exposes his penis because it's what the Blob fears the most. And you can tell based on the illustration that he is in fact not circumcised.
He uses the smegma that has built up over the years.
To infect the Blob, therefore rendering it incompetent. Just Superman shooting loads at a fucking blob.
God.
I'll take that and that.
and this and that.
I'd watch it.
I would too.
Come on, Marvel. DC.
DC, these nuts.
What have we gotten from Marvel? We had that one in Eternals where they're fucking in the sand.
Oh, yeah.
There's one where Tony Stark is in bed with like 2 women, but they were just having a slumber party
Well, yeah, exactly.
because he's gay.
Okay.
Okay. We also, I heard a rumor that someone Jillian's obsessed with this gay, but I don't want to spread false information.
I mean, it's only false if it's not true, right?
Let's just say his initials are PP.
Which is what I would like him to put inside me.
Yeah, no, I heard a rumor that Pedro Pascal is gay, but I'm not gonna pretend to speak for the man. He can come out in his own time, but we'll be waiting.
It would make it easier for me. It's just he needs to reject me so I can move on.
In person.
Yes.
I still can't believe Marco fucked with you hardcore this weekend because
oh my God.
one time Marco literally did meet Pedro Pascal at a bar.
Yeah, just randomly. And they played pool together and they had a fucking great time. But I freaked the fuck out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, take a selfie, like something. He's like, no, I don't want to bother him. He seems really cool. I was like, okay, but I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm telling you to do it for me. Okay.
Do this or we're getting a divorce.
Well, needless to say, we are no longer married. He didn't fucking send a selfie, but the other night he texted me. He was like, oh, who's that like comedian that you really like, by the way? Like the penis watch guy. I was like, oh, Nick Swartzen. He's like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with him right now.
And you texted me this. And I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah, I was like, why does this keep happening to someone who like doesn't even fully know these people who like I genuinely love? And then he texted me afterwards because I was like, send a fucking selfie this time. And he's like, I'm just joking.
And that's when you got a divorce.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That was when I signed the final paperwork.
The Pedro Pascal thing was the first straw. This is the last straw.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame you because that's a sick fucking joke.
No, he's sick in the head for that. He really is.
Yeah, after walking into Little Dicky, I just fucking all his takeout that he was bringing home just all over the fucking road. Cars are honking.
Pushed him over into a puddle.
Someone thinks I called him like a Jewish slur. They start filming. But yeah, LA is bizarre because I just ran into Little Dicky today. Just like full sprint. He didn't see it coming. It was
It's just directly into him. You gave him a concussion.
with my car.
Going 50 into 25.
He's dead.
The LAPD are currently circling above in a helicopter.
But no, it's just a bizarre place because shit like that can happen. And the fact that Marco would fuck with you like that is just wrong.
Well, it's also crazy because the Pedro Pascal thing happened before The Last of Us came out. And it was right after The Mandalorian had finished, I think. And he was popular, but not at like peak popularity because everyone really has been like thirsting over him because of The Last of Us right now.
Of course.
So
He gives off big daddy vibes.
oh my God. Yeah. It's insane. But I feel like once you reach that level of stardom, you're probably not going to be like going out to bars in fucking Manhattan Beach anymore because then people are going to be fucking annoying. I mean, I'm sure he's a very kind man because he played pool with Marco and like had a fun conversation with him because like Marco was like, oh, I just know you from Game of Thrones, whatever.
He's like, I wasn't in that.
He's like, all right, yep, sure. But it's like he seems like a cool guy. I just feel like for me, I would get so overwhelmed.
It's so bizarre though, because anyone with any sort of connection to anyone with clout, or if you can smell clout on a person, people get fucking bloodthirsty. Like the person that I went on a date with on Friday, like I said, is a producer of some pretty big podcasts. And he literally said to me, because I asked him, I was like, I was surprised to see you on this app in a public forum because I would assume people try and get to the people whose podcast he produces or to him through that app. And I was like, do people do that? And he's like, yeah, honestly, all the time. And he's like, I thought you were going to do that at first because I casually mentioned that I write and then we have the podcast and stuff. And I was like, no, that's fucking insane. And he said he's literally had other comedians catfish him.
Whoa.
Posing as women on the app, trying to get shit out of him, which is so fucking insane. And there's also like people who have a parasocial relationship with him because they've seen him in podcast clips. And they're like, oh, I know this guy. I'm going to act like a fucking insane person. And it's sad because I think people are...
Well, it ruins it for everybody else.
Well, yeah. And then he's like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to trust people if some of them are just out for clout or just want to hang out because I'm connected to famous people? It was really enlightening to hear him talk about that because I'm like, I literally can't imagine having a modicum of fame or connection to fame and then having people be shady as fuck and try and like get stuff out of you. And like someone came up to us while we were on our date, and he said that people do this all the time. Will they'll come up and they'll recognize him, but they won't be honest about what they recognize him from because they're waiting for him to say, oh yeah, you know me from this podcast or whatever. And that happened on our date. And he said like people have come up to him and accosted him because of some drama on one of the podcasts.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, Jesus fuck. People need to get a life, man.
It's really dangerous, like when you think about parasocial relationships and how people just don't comprehend them as that, you know, where
Well,
it's
they're
like,
not self-aware.
yeah, like they feel like they can just fucking go up to this guy and be like, what the fuck, you know?
Hey, bestie.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting too, because like I've run into some random like famous people too, because remember we got coffee one time and Ian from the H3 podcast was in line to get coffee.
Oh yeah. Did you say something to him?
I did. Yeah. I went up to him. I was like, oh, hey, like, you know, I really
Sign
like,
my tits.
yeah, sign my titties, like right in front of his girlfriend.
Will you shave my asshole? I know it's niche, but I've always wanted it.
I've literally fantasized about this exact moment
Every night I go to bed.
and I manifest it and it happened. I shoved crystals right up my butt and I really just think about it really hard. No, he was really cool, you know, because I just like, oh, I really like the podcast, whatever. Like you're great. And then I sat down and I fucking went on with my day and that was it. But yeah, I can imagine that there are people who are like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Like they just give them shit for no fucking reason. It's fucking weird.
It's bizarre. I just have a running list for funsies, but I've seen and met a lot of people, and some of them I've gone up to them and just in passing being like, oh, hey person, maybe I said their name, and like, I'm a huge fan of your work. I just wanted to say, I hope you enjoy your Sunday, whatever. To me, I think that that's like a healthy approach to someone who you admire.
Yeah.
Don't be intrusive. Don't fucking rush them and ask for a
Right.
picture.
Don't expect anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I just said I told Marco to ask for a selfie with Pedro, but that's different.
I'm not insane, okay? I get why he didn't ask him for a photo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not that there's inherently anything wrong with asking for a picture, because I guess some people don't really mind, but it's like, you can't be a cunt if they say no. That's like that one awkward Rami Malek video where she asked for like a video
Oh.
and she asked if he could say something to her friend and he's like, no, sorry. And she's like, okay. Bitch, do you understand what that could do to a man's career if he's on video saying something that gets turned into something else?
No, I know exactly. They're also just allowed to have boundaries with people. I know like at conventions you can pay voice actors to say shit. Like my friend met this one voice actor who voices a anime character that she really likes, and she paid like $80 or something to have him say like a personalized message. And like obviously if it's like something that they're consenting to doing, then like whatever. But
I feel like I would feel like a bit of a whore if I was. I guess it depends on how you feel about it and how you kind of view getting paid to do little personal messages for money. Like Cameo is basically that.
the actor for Hank from Breaking Bad does that. It's so fucking funny.
Fuck up.
He'll always like, I don't know if he has like a general script to follow or whatever, but he'll be like there's this anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's like, oh, you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? The only thing bizarre is that you don't get any bitches.
There's a video of him saying that?
Yes, it's so fucking funny.
See, that's funny as fuck though, because that's like
Yeah.
creative. You're not just being like, hi, Robert, happy 37th birthday.
No, I know. Did you see Pedro Pascal's monologue from SNL?
No, I haven't.
He talked about how he has a bunch of cousins that are in Chile still, and he said that they like give out his number to people. So he'll get random like text messages being like, "Can you sing happy birthday to my priest?" or like, "Can you wish my goldfish a happy birthday?" Well, like shit like that. And then I think the third one he said, he's like, is Baby Yoda like really small in real life? And then he was like, and the answer to those questions are no, and his name is Grogu. I would suck the soul right out of that man's cock if he let me.
I appreciate that you included consent in there.
Well, of course. I mean, I'm not some freak, but also, I want to clarify that I feel very comfortable saying all of this. People might be wondering, well, I'm sure it makes Marco uncomfortable, that you're talking about wanting to suck off another man like that. And number one, obviously I suck Marco's soul out of him every single night. Okay. But second, Marco is aware of this and he's perfectly fine. He knows that Pedro is a beautiful, beautiful man, and he would be understanding if I left Marco for Pedro. So
Yeah, and third and most importantly, Pedro's gay.
yeah,
So it doesn't count.
it wouldn't even happen. I wouldn't even have a chance. So it's fine. Unless
I'll have to ask my date and see how he got that intel on Pedro. My date also said that he used to hang out with fucking Evan Peters and Emma Roberts when they were a couple.
that
and
is
like,
widowy freaking crazy.
I was just gonna say, alternatively to sucking the soul out of someone, I would let Evan suck the soul out of me with his black eyes.
Like a doll's eyes. I seen it once before. What does he say? The fuck is that monologue? I should just practice.
Oh,
that
it's in
monologue.
Jaws. He's like,
Yeah, it's
black
fucking
eyes.
like a doll's eyes. And then I'm just thinking of fucking Charlie's rendition of it from Always Sunny. He was like, I've seen it once before in a rat, and I've seen it now in men. And then Jenna's like, are you doing the speech from Jaws again?
Speaking of It's Always Sunny, some people on the dating apps are super funny, and I've gotten a good chuckle or two. And one person said, together we could ski, snowboard, blah, blah, blah. Or, of course, cook a nice meal of milk steak with jelly beans. And, of course, I had to respond, and what is your spaghetti policy? So I love
it.
I love
I
a
love
little
it.
cheeky reference. But I don't know. The dating apps are kind of exhausting, and I've dated myself for so long, and I love her. So it's like, you're going to have to really fucking do more than what I can already do for myself, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I only have so many hands. Well, I have a fucking fucked up toe.
Oh my God. That your doctor put like German vet medicine on.
Yeah, I went to go get my jammed toe checked from like kickboxing, how I fucked it up. And I went to a podiatrist in Santa Monica, and not only did he put a gel on my foot that came from a bottle in German specifying that it was for Schwein und Hunds und cats or whatever the fuck, but he shot lasers into my toe.
Jewish space lasers?
What?
Oh my God, have you
Is
not
that
heard?
from Spaceballs?
No, dude. A fucking politician said that shit.
Jillian.
Like Marjorie Taylor Greene or some bullshit like that.
Jewish space lasers.
Yeah. I'm serious. This is not a bit. Like
I'm going to go hyperfixate on that later. But yeah, he shot Jewish space lasers into my toe because apparently they're good for inflammation. And I don't know if it did anything. He just had this little pen and it was like, "Bring, bring, bring, bring." And he's like, look, it's less inflamed. And I'm like, doesn't feel like it. And I paid him $30.
I love that for you. You're like, he actually, it's interesting because his office was in some dude's garage. So
It was in a cardboard box in a back alley.
I found him on Yelp.
He waved his fingers over my toe and it did feel slightly better. He injected my toe with a horse tranquilizer and
I can't feel it anymore. So I would say that it was a success.
the only side effect would be a sudden craving for hay.
And blood.
A vampiric horse. What were you going to say about Jewish space lasers?
Oh, yeah. That Marjorie Taylor Greene accused. Oh, she blamed wildfires on secret Jewish space lasers.
She said, hold on, Jillian. I just got full body chills. So we're at the point where the fascists are the fat shits. The fat shits. So we're at the point where the fascists are straight up just saying out loud the Jewish whatever.
Oh, this is 2 years ago, too. I mean, it's so fucking crazy. The gall to just be like, it's the Jewish space lasers.
Because Matt, whatever the fuck his name is, Gates, already looks like a Nazi.
I know.
But it
Wasn't he exposed for being a
Nazi?
pedophile?
Oh, dude, I wouldn't be surprised.
Allegedly. I'm just
Well,
going to
he
say
was
that right
fucking
now.
Robin, so, you know.
But which one?
The bird. And we all know now that Matt Gates fucks birds. And Well,
and he's a Nazi. And we don't know which one's worse,
he's
honestly.
a bird fucking Nazi. And, you know, I've tweeted about it. The bird has tweeted about it. It's fallen on deaf ears. But I won't stop. And
And neither will he.
fucking that bird. It's just taking so many loads. It can't even fly anymore. It's really quite sad.
It's so heavy for all the
I just have provided some space in between myself and the Twitter sphere because I hear people straight up being Nazis, like fascists, and saying anti-Semitic things, like not even hiding it anymore.
No, I know.
And it's just sort of mind-bending because they've tried to dance around it for so long, like all the dog whistles.
Right, exactly.
But now it's just like,
You know, the Jewish space lasers.
like that sounds like something from Spaceballs. Like that sounds something that
No, I
Mel
know.
Brooks would make the fuck up.
It's just so comedically unserious. Like, I don't know how anybody could hear her say that and be like, yes, she's right. She's saying what we're all thinking.
Oh my god, that neck crack made me want to jump.
Oh my
out
God,
a
I think
window.
the mic picked that up.
Yeah, dude.
That's
the
crazy.
mic also turns out picked up your queef from last time. So
Hell yeah, it did.
watch what you.
Hell
what
yeah,
you're
brother.
saying. Fuck out of here. Well, oh my god.
Sorry.
Well, what would you say today's lesson is?
Don't fuck birds.
And don't be a Nazi, and definitely don't do both at the same time. I mean, pick a lane. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
either a bird fucker or a Nazi. If you're both, we might as well shoot you into space.
With a laser. Anyway.
Happy Valentine's Day, late. And the superb owl. Okay, who do you think won? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Eagles.
Oh!
Yes!
Congratulations to the Philadelphia
Yes!
Eagles.
Yes, you're not really owls, and that's okay, but you are birds.
You're close enough, and for that you
You win.
You win the Superb Owl Award of 2023.
You did it. You won the Superb Owl.
Oh,